Louisiana, the Pelican State. From the vast wetlands of the Atchafalaya Basin to the barrier islands of Grand Isle, Louisiana offers a rare mix of swamps, marshes, rivers, forests, and coastal waters. These natural landscapes are home to alligators, migratory birds, black bears, and countless fish and plant species, many found nowhere else in the country. So stay with us for a few minutes as we explore the great outdoors of the state of Louisiana. Atchafalaya Basin. This basin is the largest river swamp in the United States. Stretching over 1.4 million acres, the Atchafalaya Basin is a massive mix of wetlands, bayous, and backwater lakes. Located in south-central Louisiana, it's not just a swamp, it's an entire ecosystem teeming with life, from cypress tupelo forests to alligators, crawfish, and over 300 bird species. This basin plays a crucial role in flood control, serving as a natural overflow area for the Mississippi River during high water. Historically, the region was vital to Cajun culture, where generations of Acadians lived off the land and waters. During the Civil War, Confederate forces used the dense swamps for tactical retreats. Today, it's a hotspot for ecotourism, hunting, and fishing, and it's considered one of America's most important and threatened wetland ecosystems. The Atchafalaya's ever-changing waterways are also essential for shipping and energy infrastructure, threading a delicate line between industry and conservation. Mississippi River. This is the river shaped more of American history than almost any other. The Mississippi River, winding over 2,300 miles from Minnesota to the Gulf of Mexico, has always been the lifeblood of Louisiana. It has served as a transportation superhighway, economic engine, and cultural boundary for centuries. In Louisiana, the river creates fertile deltas that support agriculture and wetlands that buffer hurricanes. New Orleans was founded right on its bend for trade purposes, and during the 19th century, it became the second largest port in the U.S. because of it. During the Civil War, controlling the Mississippi was a top Union objective, culminating in the siege of Vicksburg upriver. The river's shifting paths have led to engineering feats like levees, spillways, and the old river control structure, built to prevent the Mississippi from changing course entirely. Today, it's still one of the most vital commercial waterways in the world. The Mississippi in Louisiana tells a story of power, commerce, culture, and an ongoing struggle between man and nature. Jean Lafitte Swamp. Did you know you can explore swamps named after a pirate and still spot alligators along the way? The Jean Lafitte Swamp, part of the Jean Lafitte National Historical Park and Preserve, offers a deep dive into Louisiana's natural and cultural heritage, Located just outside New Orleans, this protected area includes thousands of acres of wetlands, bayous, and hardwood forests that showcase the unique ecology of the Mississippi River Delta. Named after the infamous French pirate and smuggler Jean Lafitte, who allegedly operated in these very swamps in the early 1800s, the preserve is more than just folklore. You can walk shaded boardwalks, paddle through cypress tupelo swamps, and witness wildlife up close, including egrets, nutria, and yes, alligators. The swamp plays a critical role in protecting nearby urban areas from flooding, serving as a natural sponge during storms. Lake Pontchartrain. Have you ever driven across one of the longest bridges in the world? That's the Lake Pontchartrain Causeway, which stretches nearly 24 miles across Lake Pontchartrain, a vast estuarine lake in southeastern Louisiana. Despite being called a lake, it's actually a brackish lagoon connected to the Gulf of Mexico. Lake Pontchartrain has been a central feature of life in New Orleans since the city's founding, supporting trade, fishing, and recreation. Its shores have long been a favorite for swimming and boating, especially before the rise of modern air conditioning. In 2005, Hurricane Katrina pushed massive storm surges from the lake into the city, breaching levees and causing widespread devastation. Since then, the lake's role in coastal protection has become even more studied and understood. Efforts to restore water quality and wildlife habitats, such as replanting wetlands and oyster beds, have become a major environmental priority. Fontainebleau State Park. Located on the north shore of Lake Pontchartrain near Mandeville, Fontainebleau, you'll find a park with old sugar mills, ancient oaks, and sandy beach. This scenic park was once a thriving 19th century sugar plantation owned by Bernard de Marigny de Mandeville, a wealthy Creole who also founded the nearby town. The ruins of the sugar mill still stand today. The park's name, Fontainebleau, was borrowed from the famous French forest, reflecting Marigny's French heritage. Today, the park offers hiking and biking trails, marsh boardwalks, campgrounds, and a sandy beach perfect for family outings. The park is part of the larger North Shore ecosystem, where freshwater swamps meet brackish marshes, making it a haven for birdwatchers and wildlife enthusiasts. Fontainebleau also forms part of the Tammany Trace Trail, a 31-mile path built on an old railroad line. It's where history, nature, and recreation all come together in one of Louisiana's most visited state parks. Grand Isle. This is Louisiana's only inhabited barrier island. Grand Isle is a narrow stretch of land in the Gulf of Mexico that serves as both a beloved beach town and a critical line of defense against hurricanes. Grand Isle has a rich history as a fishing village and resort town dating back to the 1800s. Pirates like Jean Lafitte are rumored to have buried treasure here. Today, It's famous for fishing rodeos, especially the Grand Isle Tarpon Rodeo, the oldest fishing tournament in the U.S., founded in 1928. The island plays a crucial environmental role too. Its beaches and marshes act as a buffer protecting inland Louisiana from storm surges and coastal erosion. However, Grand Isle is also ground zero for climate change impacts, frequently battered by hurricanes such as Katrina, Gustav, and more recently Ida in 2021, which caused widespread destruction. Kisatchie National Forest. Did you know Louisiana has a national forest with rolling hills, sandstone bluffs, and longleaf pine savannas? More like the Appalachians than the bayou? Kisatchie National Forest is Louisiana's only national forest, covering over 600,000 acres across 7 parishes in the central and western parts of the state. Unlike the state's famous swamps and marshes, Kisatchie surprises you with its rugged terrain, scenic overlooks, and rare ecosystems. It's home to one of the last remaining stretches of longleaf pine forest in the south, an ecosystem that once covered millions of acres, but now survives only in pockets like Kisatchie. These open pine woods support unique wildlife, including the endangered red-cockaded woodpecker, wild turkeys, and armadillos. The name Kisatchie comes from the Kisatchie tribe, a branch of the Caddo people. During World War II, parts of the forest were used for large-scale military training, and remnants of that era still remain. Today, you can hike, camp, bike, ride horses, or explore off-road trails like the Wild Azalea Trail, the longest hiking trail in Louisiana. Old Pearl River. This river once marked international borders and still shapes life along Louisiana's eastern edge. The Old Pearl River is a historic channel of the Pearl River, which forms part of the boundary between Louisiana and Mississippi. Before modern engineering projects altered its course, the Old Pearl was the main stem of the river and served as a vital waterway for Native American trade, European explorers, and early American settlers. In the early 1800s, this river marked the contested boundary between Spanish West Florida and the United States, making it one of the few rivers in America that was once an international frontier. Over time, sedimentation and natural shifts redirected the main flow, leaving behind the Old Pearl as a slower, meandering watercourse rich in biodiversity. Today, the area surrounding the Old Pearl River is part of the Pearl River Wildlife Management Area, a protected zone of swamps, bottomland hardwood forests, and bayous that support alligators, black bears, and hundreds of bird species. It also plays a key role in flood control and water quality for the region. Despite its quieter modern role, the Old Pearl remains a living reminder of Louisiana's evolving landscape. Honey Island Swamp. This pristine wilderness, rumored to hide a mysterious creature. Honey Island Swamp, one of the most untouched and biologically diverse wetlands in the United States. Located in southeastern Louisiana near Slidell, this 70,000-acre swamp is part of the Pearl River Basin and is named not for actual honey, but for the honeybees once found in its hollowed cypress trees. Unlike more developed areas, Honey Island Swamp has remained largely unspoiled, offering a rare glimpse of what Louisiana's wetlands looked like centuries ago. The swamp teems with wildlife: alligators, wild boar, otters, water snakes, and more than 200 bird species. It's also steeped in local legend. Some locals claim to have seen the Honey Island swamp monster, a Bigfoot-like creature said to lurk in its depths, adding an eerie twist to its natural beauty. Beyond the myths, the swamp plays a vital role in flood control, water filtration, and as a habitat for threatened species. Guided boat tours are available to explore the area. The swamp plays a critical role in protecting nearby urban areas from flooding, serving as a natural sponge during storms. Audubon Park. This sprawling 350-acre green space named after naturalist and painter John James Audubon. Located uptown near Tulane University, the park sits on land that once hosted plantations and later served as the site of the 1884 World's Industrial and Cotton Centennial Exposition, a World's Fair showcasing Southern industry. It was transformed into a public park in the late 19th century as part of a movement to create more open space in cities. The park is now a blend of history, nature, and family recreation. It features a renowned zoo, one of the top in the country, with animals from all over the globe. Massive live oaks, some over 250 years old, line the walking paths, while the golf course, lagoon, and Bird Island provide quiet escapes. Lake Catherine. Looking for a quiet stretch of Louisiana coastline with deep fishing routes? Lake Catherine, located in eastern New Orleans near the Chef Menta Pass, offers a peaceful contrast to busier areas. This shallow, brackish lake connects to the Gulf of Mexico and has long been a hub for recreational and commercial fishing, crabbing, and boating. But just nearby stands the historic Fort Pike, a forgotten fortress with a powerful past. Built in 1819 after the War of 1812, Fort Pike was part of a chain of coastal defenses constructed to protect the Gulf Coast from future invasions. It guarded the Rigolets Pass, one of the main water routes into Lake Pontchartrain and New Orleans. The fort saw use during the Seminole Wars and the Civil War, when both Confederate and Union forces occupied it at different times. The lake is also part of the broader Pontchartrain Basin, playing a role in stormwater management and providing habitat for fish, birds, and reptiles. Weekend fishing camps and seafood boils are part of the local rhythm, making it both a recreational haven. Together, Lake Catherine and Fort Pike represent the intersection of natural resilience and military heritage, a unique corner of Louisiana where the stories of water, war, and survival converge. City Park, New Orleans. This New Orleans City Park is older than Central Park in New York, Established in 1854, City Park spans over 1,300 acres, making it one of the largest urban parks in the U.S. It's home to the world's largest collection of mature live oak trees, some of which are over 800 years old. Located in the heart of New Orleans, City Park blends natural beauty with cultural attractions. The park features the New Orleans Museum of Art, the Besthoff Sculpture Garden, botanical gardens, and even an antique wooden carousel dating back to the early 1900s. During the 1930s, the WPA, Works Progress Administration, transformed much of the park's landscape, adding bridges, fountains, and buildings that still stand today. After suffering major flooding during Hurricane Katrina in 2005, City Park became a symbol of recovery, with community-led restoration breathing new life into its trails, gardens, and facilities. The park continues to be a vital space for environmental education, community events, and recreation for all ages. Mandalay State Park. Mandalay National Wildlife Refuge, commonly called Mandalay State Park, lies just south of Houma and offers over 4,000 acres of protected marshes and bottomland hardwood forests. While technically a federal wildlife refuge, locals often refer to it as a park because of its public trails and boardwalks. Mandalay is home to alligators, egrets, herons, and even endangered species like the Louisiana black bear. The area is also critical for migratory birds and is part of the Mississippi Flyway. Established in 1996, the refuge is a key part of efforts to preserve fragile coastal wetlands in Louisiana, which are disappearing at one of the fastest rates in the world due to subsidence and sea level rise. You can paddle through the swamps, hike observation trails, or attend educational programs about wetland ecology. Wisner Tract Park. This is hidden a natural oasis right in the heart of New Orleans lakefront area. Wisner Tract Park may not be widely known, but it's one of the city's hidden environmental gems. Nestled between Bayou St. John and Lake Pontchartrain, this green space is part of a larger initiative to preserve the city's remaining coastal wetlands and natural habitats. Managed in part by the Lake Pontchartrain Basin Foundation, the park serves as an important field site for wetland restoration and environmental education. It's home to native grasses, birds, and aquatic species that are rarely found in such close proximity to an urban environment. While the park is not as developed as City Park or Audubon Park, its value lies in its ecological purpose, protecting against storm surge, improving water quality, and preserving biodiversity. Wisner Tract is an example of urban conservation in action, where people can witness firsthand the importance of protecting natural systems, even within city limits. Thanks for exploring Louisiana's wild side with us. There's always more to discover, so don't stop here. If you enjoyed this video, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into most fascinating places around the world. Got a favorite Louisiana spot we missed? Drop it in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, happy travels.